Joining us now, Pennsylvania Congressman, House Foreign Affairs Committee member, and House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee member, Congressman Scott Perry. Scott, what would you like to hear from the president today as he travels to Kenosha, Wisconsin?
Well, what I'd like to hear is that he's talking to the people about their safety and their security, and that these things don't need to happen, that law enforcement wants to do their job, but unfortunately, we have many of our state and local leaders that are giving in to the mob, so to speak, and they're like we saw in just a place just south of me in Baltimore a couple years back, where they were told, stand down, just let the looters and the rioters get it out of their system. That's not a plan for success for anybody in any community, and I think the president wants to bring a voice of healing and of working the problems out that you have. There are going to be people that disagree with decisions, whether they're political, whether law enforcement, or otherwise. But we have a system in the United States of America to work out our differences without violence. That's why that's one of the reasons why it's a great country. We resort to violence to resolve our disputes, and we become like a lot of other places in the world where it's unsafe and unstable. That's not President Trump's America. That, unfortunately, as you know, Dagan, these places have been run for single-party rule, Democrat rule for decades and decades, and so President Trump wants to show America and Kenosha and Wisconsin, the rest of the world as well, that there's another way. There's a better way to do it.
Quickly, can we get to coronavirus relief? New legislation could be introduced next week. This is according to Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin. Mnuchin telling Fox Business that White House officials and Senate Republicans have been in regular contact about a new bill. Congressman Perry, what's your take on this? Again, because all of you, right and left, Democrat and Republican, left people in the lurch who are still unemployed. It's about 14.5 million people who are still collecting state unemployment benefits.
That's absolutely right. And I've talked to my constituents on a daily basis, many of them who are suffering because of the decisions of governors like mine in Pennsylvania. And so we see that in Congress. I'm gratified by a potential new bill. Secretary Mnuchin has been in the negotiations, as you know, since the beginning. So has the White House Chief of Staff. So I hope that they're able to come up with something. Unfortunately, in the past, the Speaker Pelosi, and Chuck Schumer have disregarded and rejected everything that they've brought forward. One of the key elements that I hear across the board, liberal, Democrat, Republican, conservative, doesn't matter, is liability protection for coronavirus. If the Democrats are unwilling to accept that, if liberal leaders in Washington are unwilling to accept that and protect their businesses and their employees, I think it's going to be a tough sell. But my hat's off to them. We got to keep going back. We got to keep trying.
Thank you, Congressman Perry.